We will play Bayern. I think it's maybe the best team in training. We know that it will be a difficult match, but we need points and we need to win. So we will be ready for this big game.
We need points. 4 points would be great, but 6 would be a perfect match day. We know each other. We've been training during the whole season. We know their lowest points, so we'll try to take advantage of them and try to get the most possible points.
Yep, seconds from kickoff now in this huge first game. Remember, you can, of course, get some eFootball points if you take part in our prediction campaign, which runs until 1:45 today. Of course, you can start watching and see how you feel. If one team's doing better, you might want to put your prediction on that. And of course, you know, as you can see here, we have had a lot swinging towards Bayern Munich early, Harry. Are you surprised by that, considering neither side have been hugely at the top of their game in recent weeks?
No, we haven't been blown away by either club, have we? I actually see, 2/3 of the results, near enough of the votes, I should say, going towards Bayern Munich. I would put that purely down to form. I think this is a pretty accurate representation because Barcelona in recent weeks, Adam, we've been so disappointed with how they've kind of slowed down. It's almost like they pumped the brakes on a little bit of their season. So yeah, I think this is probably about accurate. When you consider Bayern Munich, of course, last season had such a great summer campaign. They won the eFootball.Pro Cup in the summer. So, yeah, I'd say this is pretty accurate right here. I think the fans have got it pretty spot on for my liking.
Okay, do you think part of that is down to the fact that maybe Barcelona felt they were ahead of themselves a little bit? Maybe they heard the talk of them possibly winning this competition?
Yeah, maybe a bit of complacency slipping in there for sure. I know the players won't be happy with how results have gone in recent weeks, but again, it just kind of speaks to the level of competition we have here in the eFootball.Pro IQONIQ League, that any club can beat any club, as we've seen.
Yeah, of course, you can get 300 eFootball points as well in our viewing campaign. All the information in the video description below. And we are just seconds away now from the first game of the day. The referees are going over a few last-minute checks, and then we are good to rock and roll. The lineups are there on your screen. And Harry, does it get much bigger than FC Barcelona versus FC Bayern Munich to start the day? This is an absolutely huge battle, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when you consider both clubs play against each other regularly in training. We heard it from both Alex Giardi and from Miguel Mestre, of course, there in the pre-match video. They say they play against each other a lot in training, and it's going to be a lot of kind of poker faces going on here in terms of their tactics, because when you play against a team often, you kind of know what they like to do and how they like to line up. So we'll see if there have been any changes from training, whether one club might try something a little bit different. We've noted before this season how FC Barcelona like rolling that kind of 4-4-2 diamond formation that a lot of clubs in the league so far have struggled to deal with. Whether or not they'll change that up here against Bayern Munich, their training partners, we will see.
Yeah, this is a huge game to start the day between these two absolute giants of the football world, and it will be Barcelona to get us underway, kicking from left to right. Their form has really fallen off a cliff of late after really brilliant start to the season. On the flip side, Harry, Bayern Munich have just started to tick up through the gears, possibly.
Yeah, I think that's about right. They're trying to start early on here as well.
Well, Choupo-Moting with a right foot shot. and it's the perfect start for Bayern Munich. A slight defensive error, it looks like, from Gerard Piqué, and he took full advantage. And Harry, well, Barcelona with it all to do after just a couple of minutes.
Brilliant start from Bayern. They piled the pressure on initially with this attempted through ball. You'll see it here. Great hold-up play from Jose, and he's actually the benefactor who then gets to the ball first. I think it's Alex R who is just a little slow to react there with PK. This is the attempted through pass. It's obviously deflected, but Jose, with his 9th goal of the season, so alert, so alive to the potential mistake at the back, and cool as you like there on the left-hand side of your screen. That is pure experience shining through for the Bayern captain. 1-0.
Well, well, well. We were wondering whether it was going to be a tactical affair, a cagey start, considering how important this game was for both these two teams. But Bayern Munich have started like a house on fire here. In just 6 minutes gone, it's Barcelona 0, Bayern Munich 1. And you've got to think now, from a mentality point of view, this is going to show something pretty special if Barcelona can go on and get some big points from today. Of course, 6 points up for grabs. 2 games. If you are new to the season, where on earth have you been? You have missed a true spectacle so far. And Bayern Munich are in again here. It's another chance. It's another goal. And Bayern Munich are putting Barcelona to the sword.
Well, this is something special out of Alex Alguacil. We know Barcelona like to play tricky football with nice, neat footwork. Just take a look at this. Cut inside. Receives the ball. And then, it's just a beautiful cut behind turn. Catches the entire defence off guard. Jose with the assist here. But it's the cut behind that just leaves everyone for dead. Slight deflection off of, again, I think it's Alex R controlling PK. But this defence for Barcelona is falling apart. Great start, though, for Bayern. They're starting to find their goal-scoring form now, and that's going to worry everyone else around them in the league.
Yeah, it will indeed. Of course, Alex now just one shy of the double-digit haul for the season. And the goal, of course, Lewandowski, the scorer, and he's a player that hasn't really been utilised that much from Bayern Munich so far in this season's eFootball.Pro IQONIQ, and pairing up as a strike force, a deadly duo, it seems, with Choupo-Moting, Harry, today.
Yeah, and again, I wonder whether or not that is one of those kind of stick or twist situations, and I think this will be a Barcelona pause just to try and figure that out, honestly, because I mean, you're right.
They might not have been expecting that at all.
Yeah, we often see Choupo-Moting just kind of be the lone striker. Looks like it's actually going to be a technical pause while the players just figure things out. But I wonder whether or not that's just, you know, them knowing that Barcelona know how they like to line up and maybe springing a bit of a trap on them, you know, just catching Barcelona sleeping a little bit and starting Lewandowski. Yeah, that's it's an interesting dynamic we have here between these two teams. Of course, 5 out of the 6 players across these two clubs are from Spain, so you would know if you follow the Euros as well that Alex Alguacil, Jose Mestre and De Palma were all part of the Spanish squad that last year did pretty well in the Euros, not as far as they would have liked to have gone in that particular competition, but the point is they're all going to know each other's tactics really well, especially when you consider the two clubs, as the two teams said in the pre-match video, you know, good training partners and have been that way for the entire season.
Yeah, they could have possibly done something to stop the first goal, of course. Gerard Piqué could have got out possibly a little bit quicker. Second goal, how much of it goes down to that wonderful bit of skill, though?
I mean, lots of it. I think everyone's eyes was kind of trained as to where Alex was going to put the ball, whether it's in the back of the net at the far post or maybe cut it back into the 6-yard area. But instead, with the cut behind, he takes everyone else out of the equation. And yes, again, I think it was Alex R who did get a deflection. A bit unfortunate that it still finds its way in the back of the goal, but I mean, it takes almost the entire defence out of the question, and it's a really nice move from Alex. And it comes back to knowing your individual players' strengths, knowing what players' agility and particular traits can get away with those types of skill moves. But we're back underway now, 15 minutes gone, and it's Bayern 2, Barca 1. Oh, excuse me, Barca 0.
Yeah, wicked start from the Germans. Mestre with a good challenge there, but now Barcelona come back down the left-hand side through the Palmer, who's a player who's been right at the top of his games in this season so far, but as of late he's been not able to muster the same gusto and drag his team through a sticky patch at the moment that they find themselves in, Harry, because if they lose again in this game and possibly only take 1 point maybe from this day, I mean, we've still got a long way to go, of course. We've got a long first game. We've got a second game. They could easily win that, of course, as well. But if they weren't able to get any points on the board today, that could be a real blow.
Yeah, it really could. And again, you're expecting them maybe to get their season back on track. And it's interesting you mentioned the Palmer. Don't forget, I mean, back on Matchday 3, he was the first ever player in eFootball.Pro IQONIQ history to score both the Best Goal Award and the Best MVP Award. So, yeah, very interesting to see his season slow down.
Alex Giardi with the cross into the near post. Good claim, though, by Mestre in goal. And, yeah, you just feel that maybe Barcelona was starting to believe their own hype a little bit because so much was going around. Of course, you can see the table. They were top, really, for a fairly large period of the early season, and then they've just fallen away, and they now sit in 5th place. And, of course, there are teams that are yet to play today that can leapfrog them. They could find themselves outside of the top 6, which would be a remarkable change in form. But they're in again here, Bayern Munich, and nearly a chance for Jose to square it across the face. They do have a corner, and we've seen a few wicked corner routines so far this season. It's in towards the back post. Good header away, only as far as Mestre, who finds Alex, the goal scorer, on the right-hand side. Crosses towards the near post, trying to find Jose. Barcelona just can't get out at the moment. They can now, and a possible chance to counter. But look at all those white shirts back already. The switch was needed to maintain possession. And Mestre mops up brilliantly there.
Yeah, defensively, Barcelona looking a little bit susceptible, and I wonder if it's something that Bayern just trying to exploit here, just by putting the ball into really dangerous areas, especially from the corner. I mean, the second ball almost paid dividends to them again.
Jose on the left-hand side, harassed by Alex R there. And finally, it's Alex Giardi who clears his lines, and Barcelona can come up towards a halfway line. It's a sloppy touch, though, from Alex Giardi, and stolen back by Mestre, who's had a bright start to this game so far. And they forced another throw, and 40 minutes gone here. And Bayern Munich are in dreamland.
Yeah, approaching half-time. Not the start that Barca would have wanted. Again, they're just losing out on these kind of second balls. They can't seem to clear their lines to at least a player in the same colour shirt as they are. It's just been mostly Bayern Munich this first half.
The trouble that Barcelona now find themselves in, of course, is that Bayern Munich's main problem this season has been scoring goals, lack of goals, for example. Defensively, they've been pretty solid, so to get 2 now, it's going to be some feat, Harry.
Yeah, it really is. We've never really had a problem with Bayern Munich's defence, have we?
Oh, it's off the crossbar. Another chance there for Mestre, and his header cannons back off the frame. And they were just seconds away from half-time, going in 3-0 up. What a chance that was.
Really well-worked chance from the free kick. It was, as you said, off the crossbar, and they come again.
Well, it's going to be some half-time team talk for Barcelona here. They're behind in pretty much every stat possible going in after 45 minutes. I mean, where do they turn it round, Harry? They are on a landslide.
A veces arriba bajamos un poco el pistón, pero lo estamos subiendo también. Es importante. Y en esos pases, pum, pum. Puta madre, José, de 10. Métete de 10. Vamos, niños, vamos.
No perdemos kickoff. Ya sabéis.
We can just hear the instructions there from Alex and Jose and the boys in red. They know how delicately poised this still is, despite having that 2-goal cushion. They know the threat that Barcelona presents.
Tiempo, dos partidas, tranquilo.
Venga, va.
Slightly muted on the other side, though. Can't see a bit more energy at the Barca boys, but obviously we don't really have a lot to shout about so far. I think we only saw the one shot from them in that first half. That output certainly needs to be upped a little bit if we need to see them threaten Bayern in this second half.
Now, Harry, in real football, we often talk about leaders, we talk about captains, spokespeople for the team that really drive teams through difficult times. Do you think it transfers to the esports world as well, in eFootball.Pro? Do you think that they're lacking in a focal point, a leader, a spokesperson here? Because individually they're all brilliant players, don't get me wrong, but most of the other teams have got that one player who you'd say he's the captain. He's the person they go to in a crisis.
Yeah, I think that might be an interesting theory. Purely because, especially when you consider, right, Alex are so inexperienced, so young, you kind of, when you're facing adversity as an inexperienced player, you look towards those leaders, you look towards the type of players that can get you through a struggle, and that's what Barcelona are going through right now. I mean, their form on the past 2, at least, match days has been just, it's fallen off a cliff. It really has. I mean, we were touting these guys as potential title, champions elect, but so far this second half of the season especially, they've not been at their very best.
Of course, it is only partway through this first game. They've got another game to go here. Still over half an hour in game to grab something. But if they are to get anything from this first game, they could do with a goal pretty sharpish. The ball up towards Alex R. Lovely flick down towards the Palmer. It's just being stifled at the moment. Remember, there is just 10 minutes left to vote in our prediction campaign, of course, where you can win some eFootball points if you guessed the prediction correctly. And if I was a betting man, Harry, I'd say Bayern Munich at the moment are looking at a firm favourite. So if you want some potential points, get yourselves in with a shout.
Well, I mean, 2/3 almost of the votes, I mean, even prior to this match, as of Friday, thought that Bayern were going to take home the lion's share of the points. So right now, that's looking spot on the money, and I thought it was. There is still time, obviously, for Barcelona to bounce back, not only in this game, but also in the second game still to come. And well, here are the changes. We can get our first real look at the team sheets, and it is still Barcelona using that 4-4-2 diamond. I wondered whether or not they might switch to a bit more of a kind of conventional sort of 4-3-3 that we often see a lot of teams use. And yeah, it actually looks like they are maybe thinking about moving towards that now.
Going to the plan B, well, it really wasn't working, was it, Harry? Plan A, I can't think of a chance they've even created.
It comes back to playing around what you're comfortable with, but when that's not working, you have to start throwing more bodies up the pitch, just in an attempt to try and salvage something from this match. Because I mean, you're into the final third of the game now, almost. Only 30-odd in-game minutes left, plus stoppages for you to get 2 goals back. I mean, it's perfectly possible. It really is, especially when you look at Bayern's, 3 at the back. Yeah, they do have those 2 holding midfielders and plenty of weapons to hit you on the break, but you're still, you're still in with a chance here. There's still time on the clock. I think we're really going to see what Barcelona are about now, coming into the latter stages of this game, and potentially maybe even see their hopes for this season and see how much they're really up for it.
Ball in towards the danger area. Always broken here kindly for Alex Alguacil, but he just couldn't quite pull the trigger. Good clearance away in the end, I think, from Alex R. Lewandowski, the goal scorer, coming off for Tielemans, and Thomas Müller as well for Douglas Costa. So Bayern Munich bringing on the reinforcements as if they need any, because they have been by far the better team so far, possibly resting a few legs for the second game, Harry.
Yeah, potentially. Of course, don't forget all the stamina and stuff is reset for the second game. But you're right, maybe looking to try and hide some of their weapons potentially going into that second game. But they've looked really solid so far, and this is it's good to see Bayern Munich go back to their tried and tested from last season. When you're up by 2 goals, let's try and get 3. Let's try and make it 4. We want to see them attack teams, and it's good to see them going back to the tried and tested.
Absolutely. And while we're on the how things work, should we touch on the stat balancing if people are new to the game, Harry?
Absolutely. Uniform ratings across the board. You need to look at the difference makers between the uniform overall ratings, things like traits, particular specialties that players kind of try and operate under, and also physicality, right? It's one of the reasons that we see Choupo-Moting, especially for Bayern, being featured so heavily, because he is such a physical presence up top. So that's the type of thing you're looking for here in the eFootball.Pro IQONIQ. It's why you might see some of the academy players feature for certain teams that you often wouldn't see in the real world.
20 minutes gone here. 20 minutes left, and Bayern Munich are 2-0 to the good, but Barcelona have a chance here for Antoine Griezmann, and it's game on. And I think it was Alex R who pulled the trigger. A stunning finish in the end. And we were talking as if the game was absolutely dead and buried, because we've seen nothing from Barcelona in an attacking sense. But just when they need it, I said they needed a goal fairly soon if they want to get anything from this game. And Harry, boy, have they got one, and a good one.
Yeah, really good goal here. Alex Giardi with a nice double touch inside just to make a bit of chaos in the box. But this first touch from Alex R is absolutely splendid. Takes 2 defenders out of the match completely. And you're right, we were talking almost as if this was a foregone conclusion, but you have to remember, 30 in-game minutes in eFootball PES, anything can happen. And I wonder, with only 5 minutes left to vote, whether or not that might shake up some of the predictions.
We touched on how young Alex R is, one of the babies of the tournament, but he's up to 11 goals in this competition, so we never questioned his talent, and things are just starting to possibly unravel a little bit here for Bayern Munich. A lunge in there, a bit reckless, and Barcelona have a free kick to be taken by the goalscorer Alex R in towards Alex Giardi. Back to Alex R. The Alexes are combining, but can they produce? On this occasion, the Alex on the other team steals the ball away and wins a free kick to alleviate some pressure.
Yeah, had to be done there, I think, from Alex Giardi, just to prevent the counter-attack from Bayern. Really nervy final 15 here for Bayern Munich. You've seen leads slip away in the past. You need to make sure this would be a huge 3 points to take away when you look at the league table as a whole. As we take just a quick look at the goals, Alex R now up into the top 3 with that one. But
there's a sea of players on 10, isn't there?
Yeah, there is plenty of players breaking that double-digit boundary. Good to see here as well, Bayern Munich just steadying things and trying to go to the back, but that's a mistake. And well, with 10 in-game minutes left, you're gifting Barcelona the ball. This could get really dicey here for Barca.
So it's now Bayern Munich that are looking to change things, and well, we questioned the formation for Barcelona going into the start of this game, and they changed it midway into the second half, and boy, has it produced a change of performance so far. And you would imagine, Harry, they may start the second game with the same formation.
Oh, maybe. Whether or not the team feels like the formation is to thank for their turnaround in fortunes. We'll see if they can get the job done first, though.
The Palmer down the right-hand side. He is the listed captain on the day. Leading by example as opposed to a spokesperson, you would say. Letting his eFootball PES do the talking. As the ball is fired away by the goalkeeper and headed down by Alex Alguacil to Jose, the Bayern captain. Tries to find Alex again, but good challenge this time from Alex Giardi. Fired up towards the halfway line. Boywood, Barcelona love a goal from their captain right now, and he has been amongst the goals this season. The Palmer. Hack down on the halfway line. Time running out here for Barcelona. This would be a huge 3 points for Bayern Munich in their season, but it's a red card, and they're going to have to get through the final 3 minutes with a player less here, a second bookable offence. A correct decision, you have to say, from the referee. But now Barcelona, can they make their extra player pay? It's into the danger area, ricochet through, and Manuel Neuer is going to gratefully claim that ball and tick down the final few seconds here. Will Barcelona get one more chance to grab an unlikely equaliser away from the jaws of defeat? Bayern Munich have possession, though, at the other end of the pitch, up towards the halfway line. The referee brings the game to an end. It's a huge 3 points for Bayern Munich.
Really, really huge 3 points. You're so right. And we saw from the player reactions, they certainly agree. Really well played game as well. Jose, the standout performer. But I mean, it was those 2 early goals, wasn't it, from Bayern that, I mean, Barcelona just found themselves in an uphill struggle going into the rest of the match. And I mean, credit to Bayern, exploiting the defensive frailties early on in the game, allowed them a bit of breathing room, and it just took too long for Barcelona to get going. In the end, that 72nd minute Alex R goal, not enough to secure any points. And, well, Bayern, on form at least, in the previous couple of match days, they're starting to turn their season around here. Huge 3 points to pick up in game 1 against Barcelona.
Yeah, they had a really sluggish start to the season, Bayern Munich. They left themselves with a lot to do after a really successful season in the last one, winning the cup, of course. But they've got a lot to do here now, Barcelona, on the other end, because they lost that game 2-1 after a bright end to the game. They just didn't have quite enough in the locker. But they were definitely better in the second half, weren't they, Harry?
They were indeed. I mean, we're seeing some glimpses of the old Barcelona. I mean, that Alex goal, by the way, is so nice. And look at what it means to him there in the centre of your screen.
Sold the defender down the river.
Absolutely he did. But for me, I mean, we saw some glimpses of the old Barcelona. I mean, looking at Alex R's goal, his touch with Griezmann was a thing of beauty. Alex Giardi with a double touch as well to make the entire chance possible. I just can't pinpoint what's going wrong with Barcelona in the last couple of match days. It's the most bizarre thing. I can't tell if other clubs are.
Do you think other clubs have found them out?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a potential option or reason as to why they're just struggling. But they just don't look like the same club that we're used to seeing here.
Well, the second game is almost ready to begin. A few last-minute decisions for Bayern Munich by the looks of things. Barcelona have gone with the 4-4-2 diamond again. Harry, are you surprised by that?
I mean, we asked the question, didn't we, how much of the success would they put down to the change in formation? Clearly, they're banking on the 4-4-2, still paying dividends. Let's listen to the Bayern boys. Or maybe not. I heard Lutty in the back there, heard some words in English. Obviously,
of course, anyone who is new to the season, Lutty is the manager, you could say, so far this season for Bayern Munich. Of course, a very decorated player in his time, of course, and not a pretty nice guy to have in your ear, Harry, in a time of need.
A calming presence, and yeah, that's what you want. And maybe that's something the likes of Alex R is just kind of missing right now. You know what I mean? I feel like if I was in Alex R's position, I would love a player or an ex-player of that caliber just to be in my ear and calming me down, as Lutty has been throughout the entire season and even last season as well for Bayern in the eFootball.Pro IQONIQ, has He's been a rock.
Because, of
for
course, a
them.
lot of this is a mentality thing as well, isn't it? A lot of it is the mental side of the game. Not everything is just how good you are at the game.
Exactly right. And when you get to this level of competition, that can be the difference maker. You know, players know what to do at this stage of the game. You know, you get to this level and the difference is obviously not only the decisions you make at the time, but it's also that experience. It's those intangibles, that the things that you just can't measure. And one of those is experience, and being calm in the moment is what separates the top players from the very best.
So it will be Bayern Munich to get us underway in this second half, kicking from left to right in the all-red, and Barcelona in their away strip, kicking from right to left as Bayern Munich come down the left-hand side. Lovely footwork there again, this time from Mestre. Barcelona just dealing with it a little bit better. On this occasion, they have to make sure they don't do the same thing again defensively at the start of this game, Harry. They can't afford to let this one get away from them.
Yeah, they were poor in game one. Need to be a lot more solid and, again, have a bit more authority on the ball. Good double touch there from Mestre, though, is what we like to see. Maybe playing Barca at their own game.
In towards the near post, headed away by the Palmer, and now Alex R completes the clearance up towards the left-hand side, or a chance to counter here for Barcelona, but Braithwaite just hasn't quite got the legs, and now it's Serge Gnabry down the right-hand side, looking for Lewandowski, who maintains his position, his starting berth, as Alex R now feeds Alex GRD. Chance to spray it up towards the right-hand side. Messi, lovely touch on the chest to Dembele, of course being controlled by the captain, the Palmer. Good early possession here on the edge of the Bayern Munich box, but the final pass is lacking. 8 minutes gone, Bayern Munich 0, Barcelona 0.
You can't afford to do that too much if you're Bayern. You can't allow the Palmer time and space to try and pick a pass out. He was unsuccessful that time, but often this season he's found his marker. And, well, if you let him do that too many times, eventually he's going to cut you down at the back, and he's going to find someone like Alex GRD or like Alex R to stick one home. So need to get a bit tighter to the Palmer if I'm Bayern.
Now, of course, I do not have a crystal ball. I cannot look into the future, but you would imagine if Barcelona are unable to take anything from this game, or maybe even if they're only able to get a point from the second game, they may well, looking at the team still to play today, they may well see themselves outside of the top 6 at the close of matchday 7, with only 2 match days to go. How damning could that be, Harry?
When you consider where they were a couple of match days ago, yeah, it could be very damning indeed. At this point, if you're Barcelona, you were looking at teams like Arsenal, teams like AS Monaco. Now you're looking at like Roma, Manchester United, maybe even Schalke and Juventus as well. So let's listen to what Barca have to say.
I think it's actually Alex for Bayern Munich. Experiencing some technical difficulties here. Of course, one of the problems that we have to kind of negotiate in this new age competition that we're in at the moment. Team doing a cracking job as usual, making sure that these match days go through as seamlessly as possible. There's so many things that have got to be organised.
Of course, we owe a big thanks to Sergio and Jesus, of course, our referees for every match day so far this season. They do a tremendous job. But coming back to where Barcelona would lay if things stand, they would remain in the knockout stage positions without depending on other teams if they win at least one game. So they need to win this second game against Bayern Munich to remain in the knockout stage positions, because then it wouldn't matter what other teams do. They would have enough points and be in a good enough position. However, if they only get 1 point from this, they would have to depend on what Manchester United and Roma do elsewhere, because, well, they are creeping up the table, those 2 clubs in particular, and even Celtic are looking to threaten them.
Ball into the danger area, headed away by Alex GRD. Testing moments here for Barcelona. They've got to get through the first 20 minutes, you feel. Alex Giardi out towards the right-hand side. Alex R picks it up. Lovely footwork there from Lionel Messi. Now Dembele, chance to play it in towards the edge of the area. Another turn, just last-ditch defending coming in from Bayern Munich, but this is much better from Barcelona. They seem to be a lot quicker to the ball. Of course, if you're Bayern Munich, you've already got the 3 points in the bag, Harry. Are you happy with 4 from today?
Well, I think the target for Bayern would be getting back into those knockout positions as soon as you possibly could, just to make things a little bit easier into the remaining match days of the season. There's a real chance there actually for Alex R maybe to score the first goal of the game. But yeah, you need 6 points if you're Bayern, and you need to see that Roma gets less than 2 points, or United get less than 4 points.
Good defending again from Alex R this time. He's producing some big numbers at the back today as the ball runs all the way out of play for a goal kick. 22 minutes gone. Well, they've negotiated the opening period here, Barcelona, something they failed to do emphatically in the first game. So it is, of course, a plus for them. Now, can they really do damage down the other end? They have, of course, had the one chance, probably the biggest chance of the match, as Harry alluded to just a few minutes ago. Unable to take on this occasion, but they'll take a lot of heart from that. Bayern Munich just starting to try and find a bit of authority on the ball, something they failed to do in the opening period of this second game. They've been well marshalled by a much more resolute Barcelona rearguard as Alex R now comes down the right-hand side, chased across by Alex Alguacil, but Alex Giardi now pins it in towards the Palmer. A stunning save from Manuel Neuer. The chances are starting to build, though, for Barcelona.
Yeah, they look
and you feel a man of his talent should be scoring that, Harry.
Well, it was a good manual save, I think, there from Mestre, just shifting Neuer across to cover his near post.
And towards the near post, flicked on by Piqué. And fired away by Alex, but yeah, definitely a better start from Barcelona anyway. They're looking to at least get 3 points on the day. Another pass round the corner, but this time just a little bit overhit. But they'll take a lot of heart from this start, Harry.
Definitely, when you consider how the first game went, they really didn't turn up to the match at all, did they, until the second half at the very least, and they've done it all without that formation change. And I wonder how much of this is Bayern maybe struggling in this second game, or how much Barca have turned up. But attacking wise, they look certainly not devoid of ideas. Maybe the execution slightly lacking here or there, but they're starting to find their feet in this game now, and if I'm Bayern, I maybe start to worry about that.
Good defending again, this time from Sergio Ramos. .38 minutes gone here. Bayern Munich 0, Barcelona 0. Lionel Messi down the right-hand side, plays it into Braithwaite, controlled by Alex Giardi. Good challenge coming in from the captain, Jose, and Bayern Munich up towards the halfway line. 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Can they grab a goal which would see them potentially looking at a possible 6 points from a possible 6? That would be some achievement. Based on the start to the season, they would definitely be on the right track, but they've got to get through a much improved Barcelona team in this second game.
And this is going to sound really strange, but I wonder whether or not Bayern's hunger would disappear if they did find themselves in a knockout stage position at the end of the day. I know we keep saying that's where you want to be, but if I'm Bayern, I maybe keep that hunger just by, you know, even if I'm not in those knockout stage positions, you still have something to aim for, whereas you can get a bit complacent, as we found with Barcelona, when you are in the spot that you want to be in.
Absolutely. Again, that comes down to mentality and professionalism to keep turning over those results, even when you're not quite playing at your best. But it is 0-0 at half-time here in this second game. Not quite the fireworks we saw in the first. We do every now and again get a game that is on paper not quite as enthralling, Harry. But are you seeing a lot of tactical battles that you'd like to mention?
Oh, I'm seeing certainly Barcelona having a lot more direction than we saw in that first game. Let's listen to what Bayern think about their opposition.
Si nos llega la pelota arriba, lo que nos dé confianza con dos huevos. Vamos, vamos. Y sabéis hacerlo bien. Sabemos los tres. Vamos.
Atrás no nos complicamos.
Sí, correcto.
Just waiting for some translations, hopefully, as I did French in school, not Spanish.
I'll come to you for the AS Monaco game then.
Yeah, I said I did French in school. I didn't say I was good at French in school.
It doesn't take a translator to figure out that Alex Haugerfield definitely the cheerleader.
Oh, it's a chance here for Barcelona, and it's Alex Giardi. And straight from this restart, Barcelona have got what quite possibly might be a crucial goal in their season.
Huge for Alex Giardi and for Barcelona. The former Arsenal man, straight from the kickoff. We know how deadly these types of positions can be. It's just a header one, isn't it, by Alex R? So crucial. He scored the goal in the first game.
We don't see that from Barcelona, do we?
We don't. We're so often seeing them just go for the technical goals. It's actually Messi winning a header.
The smallest player on the pitch.
But the finish, I mean, take nothing away from Alex Giardi. So crucial, so clinical. It will be disappointment for Bayern Munich. But for Barcelona, that could be a lifeline to their season. And it sounds weird to say that because they entered the day in the knockout stages, but that's how bad their form has been on the past couple of match days.
What an important goal that was from Alex Giardi. 8th for the season, 9 assists. Can he close in on a double-digit haul on one of those, which would propel Barcelona to a famous 3 points here in the eFootball.Pro IQONIQ League, as Dembele now plays it in towards a danger area. Another chance here, and Bayern Munich are on the ropes. It's the Palmer. Ricochets through, and thankfully for Bayern Munich, it goes through to the grateful arms of Manuel Neuer and Jose. But Bayern Munich have got to be careful at this moment in time.
Yeah, Barcelona are really starting to ramp up the pressure now in search of that second goal. Bayern really need to be careful. This is the Barcelona we saw earlier on in the season that would just find the weakness and then exploit it time after time and just score goal after goal. That's the threat here for Bayern that they need to try and be wary of.
Could it just be a simple fact with Barcelona? I'll just let this attack play out before I get to that, as another chance coming in, this time for Bayern Munich, headed away by Piqué. Could it be just a simple confidence thing with Barcelona? We see it time and time again in all major sports and esports, goals, etc. They change games, they change moods, they change seasons, just from a confidence point of view.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be when you find yourself again at the top of the table at such an early stage of the season, where we're so used to seeing the likes of Juventus, Bayern and AS Monaco being the top dogs. You find yourself in that conversation, you start to think, oh, hang on. You start to doubt yourself a little bit. So let's see if there's any doubt from the Bayern boys.
So it looks like Bayern Munich are possibly making some changes. 60 minutes gone.
A mí me da igual, la verdad.
Sí, vamos, queremos jugar más, vamos.
Venga, chicos, vamos. Hay partido,
rapidez,
hay
y lo
partido,
conseguimos.
hay
Vamos.
partido, vamos.
Tienen banda, vamos a estar fuertes, hay que sacarla, que no nos pase como antes, vamos. Que había un UI, vamos.
I mean, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure they're saying, let's do things faster. Passing overall, I mean, they're right, it does need to be a bit quicker, a bit more succinct from Bayern. They have the likes of Sane coming on. to try and facilitate that. But overall, defensively, Barcelona have been much, much better, much more organised off the ball than we saw in the first game.
Yeah, much improved Barcelona performance, but Bayern Munich have definitely been sluggish in this second game. Ball out towards the left-hand side. Will it hold? Well, it won't matter because it's been smacked away by Matchday. And now Bayern Munich come again. This is much quicker from Bayern Munich. They're in again, and this time they score the goal, which brings the game level. And it's the captain, Jose, who's got it.
Well, they wanted it to be faster. This was lightning. So much so that the Barcelona defence just didn't have a clue how to stop it. Excellent goal from Jose. Double digits on the season for the captain. And it's an excellently played ball inside to the feet of Jose, controlling Müller. And when you watch here, there are plenty of defenders around Müller. But it's just that pass that is played perfectly into his feet that just allowed him to shield the ball from the defenders and take it away from anyone trying to chase him. The finish, excellent. And there's your equaliser, 1-1.
So strong there from Thomas Müller. And unfortunately for Barcelona, you can have the majority of the game. You can be at the top of your defensive battles, but one lapse in concentration at this level can prove so costly, and that's exactly what's happened. They had 3 defenders around him, but just couldn't get the right side of the pass. Lovely ball. The rest is history. Bayern Munich 1, Barcelona 1. Game on. 72 minutes gone, and Barcelona are under the cosh again here. Smacked away by Alex R. Well, equally, we talk about goals changing games from an attacking point of view in terms of confidence, but if you concede, equally, you can often go back into your shell and concede a second in as many minutes. Let's see whether that plays out as the ball gets played down the ward towards the right-hand side. Tillman just couldn't quite get on it, and Matchday allows the ball over his head. 76 minutes gone, Bayern Munich 1, Barcelona 1.
Just had to try and go for the header there, Matchday, and I think it was the right option. I don't think Tillman was going to get there, so why not try and get a head on it? Just goes over his head though. Good vision to try and find him, but this final 10 in-game minutes is going to be so crucial to, well, both clubs' seasons.
Well, the flag stays down. It's Choupo-Moting. Is another chance here for Jose, the captain, and he's put in the wrong side of the post. Alex with words of, well, he's trying to rouse to keep going what they're doing, but that was a huge miss, wasn't it, Harry?
Yeah, it really was. You need to at least test the keeper from that kind of distance. You won't get too many chances like that in the final 10 minutes.
I think the word encouragement was the one I was looking for there. The word seemed to evade me.
I like to think it's encouragement rather than him berating his colleague, but got to stay focused here. Again, if you're the Barcelona defence, you need to steady the ship a little bit at the back, because Bayern are really growing into this second half.
Down the right-hand side. Barcelona now have the chance to come forward. Lionel Messi dragged back. Great turn there from the goal scorer, Alex R. That was really special. And he's forced a free kick in a dangerous position, and a yellow card for the Bayern Munich man into the area. Good defending, though, from Alex Alguacil. And now Matchday has a chance to counter. Ramos. This has been a good response, though, from Barcelona after that huge miss for Bayern Munich, which might come back to haunt them, but they still have 2 minutes remaining to possibly grab a winner. Ramos, good challenge from Choupo-Moting, but again one back, and this is how the table stands as things stand. Barcelona in 5th and Bayern Munich in 7th, still outside of the top 6. 4 points from today would still not be good enough with 2 match days to go. deep into the final minute of added on time. The fourth official says 2 minutes. We're in the dying seconds. A goal now would surely be the winner. It'll be the last kick of the game. And Barcelona are going to get the chance. And it was Antoine Griezmann, but a wonderful challenge coming in.
Hang on.
And the game finishes. What's he given? He's given a free kick. I thought it was a final whistle. We're 2 minutes over the allotted 2 minutes of added on time. A goal now would be such a sickener for Bayern Munich. It's Messi. Surely a shot would have been the better option. And it's finished. Finally, Bayern Munich 1, Barcelona 1. Harry, hello.
Queda liga. Diputada, que haga lo que quiera, niño, que haga lo que quiera. Orgulloso, niño.
And Jose knows it, doesn't he?
He does. I hope it doesn't play on his mind too much because, I mean, overall, if you're Bayern, you still come away from this match day with 4 points. You're still moving the right way up the table. Here's your confirmation of things.